jury selection is over, and tomorrow opening statements begin in the George Zimmerman murder trial. He is charged with second-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin. Tomorrow, both sides will lay out their cases. Joining me right now, criminal defense attorney Carrie Hackett and Mo Ivory. She's also an attorney and host of the Mo Ivory Show on the radio. So good to see both of you.
You too.
Nice to wow, a lot to cover. We've got opening statements. We've got an all-female jury and highly anticipated case. And there's also a ruling on the 911 expert testimony of those calls. So Mo, let's begin with opening statements tomorrow. What can be the expectations? I mean, it's a lot for the jurors to hear all at once. But knowing the jury is all female, are these attorneys now trying to craft a different kind of or a more personalized kind of opening statement? Does it matter the makeup of the jury?
Well, sure. Actually, I mean, I think it does matter the makeup of the jury, but I think there's a general story that they're going to tell that's always been the same, and that is that Trayvon, a 17-year-old, just went out to get a drink and a snack and ended up dead. And they're going to expand on how all of that happened, but the real point of it, and maybe exactly to the 5 mothers on the jury, when you let your child go out just to get a snack, do you expect for him to end up dead because of a neighborhood volunteer watchman? And I think that's going to be very important for the opening statements to convey right from the beginning that Trayvon was just doing nothing wrong, and he was pursued by, you know, a crazy man who felt that he had the authority to take things into his own hands, who ended up being a killer.
So, well, Carrie, how succinct does that statement have to be?
It does have to be succinct, and I think that's the prosecution's standpoint. The defense's standpoint is that, yes, George Zimmerman was following Trayvon Martin around, but that at some point, George Zimmerman became the victim in this situation and needed to defend himself. So the stories are going to be somewhat different from the prosecution standpoint and the defense standpoint. I think what's important to know, though, about an opening statement is it's not supposed to be argumentative. So each side has to be very careful to just tell the jury what they expect the evidence to show. That's
would you expect it to be lengthy, or does it need to be short and sweet? I mean, you have to engage the jury, but at the same time, you have to paint a picture, both sides, with some matter of detail.
Yeah,
well, that's right. It needs to be descriptive, but at the same time, they need to basically establish their themes of the case and somehow engage the jury and get the jury to trust them and to really find, have some faith in their telling of the story.
But with 5 women, I think it needs to be descriptive, because we're about details, right? We like long conversations.
6 women,
yeah, 6 women. We like, wait, tell me more. Wait, he was, oh, wait, I didn't know that. So I think it's going to be very important for it to be descriptive and to really bring, and listen, argumentative is just about tone, right? So they just have to be, it's not necessarily what you say, but how you say it.
So the jury needs to be able to visualize exactly what happened from both perspectives.
I agree.
And as we talk about these details and visualization, again, unless there is some kind of new bombshell eyewitness that steps forward, we understand there to be no eyewitnesses of the actual shooting, what took place just prior to it, what took place at the moment of that shooting, etc. So that's why that 911 call was going to be so crucial. But there was a ruling. Judge Nelson said, we're not going to allow the analysis of that 911 call, but it will be entered nonetheless.
And that's key.
And the judge did exactly what you all had mentioned when we talked a couple weeks ago, that other witnesses who know that voice, know the voice of Martin or Zimmerman, would be permissible. So how do you see this 911 call recording still being a crucial element of this case, Mel?
Sure. I was so amazed how everybody's saying, what a loss for the prosecution. You know, we talk about it all the time. That's not really a loss for the prosecution, in the sense that now they have the most crucial testimony about that call from his mother. It is going to be so important.
You think for sure the mother of Trayvon Martin would be called?
I think that she is going to testify, and I think that she'll probably either testify first or testify last.
Yes.
Because very important testimony and witnesses, generally you want the jury to hear that from the outset, or hear it when you're leaving them, to leave that impression on them. And I think that she's really going to be a sympathetic witness. But I wouldn't be surprised if the defense team finds somebody from Zimmerman's past that knows him well, a family member, that could testify that it's actually him on that recording. And then it will be up to the jury to listen to it, listen to both sides, and to determine who they think that is crying out for help.
Although it's a very different impact to hear a child crying out for help that's now dead than for somebody, a cousin, a brother, even George Zimmerman's mother, to say, that's my child's voice. Well, yeah, and your child is sitting right there. very different for a jury of 5 mothers, which I think is a win for the prosecution.
Wow, fascinating stuff. All right, we are all going to be on pins and needles beginning tomorrow with opening statements and everything that happens after that. Mo Ivory, Carrie Hackett, thanks so much, ladies. Appreciate it.